Hey Apex Agents, Mobius Y here with another video for Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. Do you like headshots? Are you adept at performing headshots? Do you know where the weak points are on pretty much every enemy in the game in Mass Effect Andromeda? Do you get an overwhelming sense of self-satisfaction whenever you see that weak point kills gold medal pop up before the game ends, and you find you just can't live without seeing that before the end of a game? Well, today's weapon profile goes over a gun just for you. This is the Sandstorm Assault Rifle. Now, terming the Sandstorm as an assault rifle is a bit of a misnomer, as it's more of a DMR, which is a designated marksman rifle. It is slow firing, but very accurate, and in terms of gameplay, shoots a single slug that can actually do quite a bit of damage, especially if you aim for those weak points, as previously mentioned. The Sandstorm does do a fair bit of damage per bullet, but that damage is escalated immensely if you constantly land your shots on enemy heads and various other weak points depending on which enemy you are facing against. This can make the Sandstorm's time to kill on smaller class enemies very short, as you can drop a lot of low grade enemies in a couple very well placed shots, rendering them dead in a couple seconds. Now, because the Sandstorm is a slow-firing gun, it's actually very handy on just about any character in the game and any class in the game, except for maybe melee characters. That would probably be the only exception where I would not recommend using the Sandstorm on. Any other class could be viable. Because of the Sandstorm's slow rate of fire, you'll find that you are not interrupting the casting of your powers if you're using a caster class and trying to get your power combos off to deal most of your damage. The Sandstorm, because it shoots so slow, won't be interrupting your usual combos, and in fact gels pretty well with trying to cast those combos at a really high rate. The Sandstorm is a pretty good weapon to use on characters that have a bit more of a short-range punch and you want to be able to damage enemies at a distance, or on classes that can make use of the Sandstorm's accuracy at range and can put shots down at a distance and hit enemies very reliably from a fair ways away, while being able to keep the usual bunker busters from getting in close and knocking you out of your cover or throwing you off of your shot. The Sandstorm's time to kill can be very low when you're constantly hitting those weak points. However, similar to several other weapons, for example, single-shot sniper rifles like the Widow and Ishare, the Sandstorm's time to kill as well as overall damage output does suffer quite a bit if you are not consistently nailing those weak point hits. While it can take off fair chunks of boss health pools with repeated hitting of the weak points, you'll find that the damage output, no matter how much you try to amp up the base assault rifle damage, might not be that significant if you are unable to consistently land those weak points for at least half of the shots in shooting a single magazine of the Sandstorm's weapon. Speaking of the magazine, that is one of the other high points of the Sandstorm Assault Rifle. It has a very big magazine capacity. With the magazine mod grade 10, it will have up to 21 shots, and of course it will have more with various passive abilities that increase the magazine of the gun, as well as popping powers like Turbocharge, who further increase the magazine of the gun. Now, one really nice aspect of the Sandstorm is that, coupled with its amazing accuracy, it actually has a built-in scope onto it, much like every sniper rifle in the game. However, the Sandstorm, because it is coined as an assault rifle and not a sniper rifle, it does not suffer the hip-fire damage penalty that all sniper rifles do. Sniper rifles do less damage when you are shooting them without looking down to the scope. This is not the case with the Sandstorm. It will actually be a little bit more inaccurate than if you are using the scope, but you will not suffer a damage penalty by simply shooting from the hip, especially at enemies that are right in your face. For example, breachers or outlaw adhees. So keep that in mind whenever you use the Sandstorm and bring it with you into battle. One final note about the Sandstorm Assault Rifle: I do not recommend it regularly being used by players who believe in the term of accuracy through volume. The Sandstorm is more about precision and patience and consistency with that precision as well. If you are not good at reliably landing those headshots repeatedly, no matter what the situation, it's simply not really going to be a gun that stands out too well in your own hands if you try to use it. If you are the kind of person who does prefer using guns that greatly reward patience and reward precision and consistency as much as the Sandstorm does, this might be the kind of gun for you. One final negative aspect about the Sandstorm is that it is a rare grade gun, so it takes quite a while to even get any of the variants of the weapon. If you do have any of the variants, I recommend using either a siphon or concussive version. The concussive version can be really nice for dealing additional area damage by creating an explosion whenever you score a headshot. However, the siphon variant is also very good at regenerating sizable chunks of a player's health whenever you shoot somebody for maximum damage in one of their weak points. That's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it informative. Let me know what characters you like to use the Sandstorm on and what your general thoughts of this weapon are. Personally, I quite like it. Even after I've done the challenge, I still find myself using it on certain characters. This has been Mobius for Mass Effect Andromeda Multiplayer. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Good luck, Apex.